All right, guys, you are joining me, not Kareen today, just me and Sam, because we're doing a special wrap up of the 2025 FMG Sydney Show. Sam, how you going?
I'm doing good. I'm doing really good. It's been a good couple of weeks in the FMG space. Sorry, Kareen, I've taken your spot, but it's FMG time.
And you're joining us with some birds in the background there. Is it bird feeding time? I can hear heaps of birds in the background.
Oh, really? Can you hear that? We have these lorikeets that fly past our house all the time, and they're not quiet.
It's how you know you're in Brisbane, I think.
Yeah, pretty much.
It's like if you blindfolded me and then I woke up in Brisbane, I would know because I can hear the birds. It's like the morning time is the loudest bird calling time ever. Like it's just
It's
ridiculous.
ridiculous.
Yeah.
Yeah, they wake you
You
up
don't
for sure.
you don't need an alarm clock in Brisbane.
Nope, definitely not.
All right. We'll stop talking about birds. Let's talk about FMG. So we're gonna jump straight into it. You got the placings, and I'm just gonna share my screen. Before we jump in though, you were at the show, I wasn't, so I'm just gonna go off of the what's it called, the video. But any first initial thoughts? Like, what did you think of the show?
I always loved the FMG Sydney stage, mainly because that was where I made my debut back when it was WBFF. So it's always a special place to me and it always brings back old memories. But it was a great show, great athletes, incredible physiques as always. It was also just a quick comment, like it was great to see how many guys were in the show as well. That was really awesome to see. But we're here to talk about the girls. So I think I had about 10 posing clients in this show. So I was a busy girl going into the show. I had 4 prep clients as well. I know all the girls did absolutely amazing, which I'm sure we'll go into. But yeah, keen to chat about FMG.
Yeah, it's always like a great, whenever I do make it to the shows in person, it's always such a great production. I feel like it brings that excitement that because it feels like it just consistently rolls on. Like it doesn't have really any breaks in the show. It's not sort of like there's anyone on stage presenting or anything like that. It just kind of is very much a show. So it's very entertaining always when I'm there watching it. Because you're not allowed backstage as a coach. You're allowed to go backstage as a pro, but as a coach, you kind of just stuck in the crowd, which isn't a bad thing.
Yeah, and you know what? Like it makes backstage really nice. Like it's all about the athletes. It's all about,
Yeah,
just a community vibe. When I find with other federations, no hate with it, but I feel like it's a bit more serious when you have the coaches backstage, when it
yeah,
just creates more of a community feel at the FMG shows.
yeah, yeah, 100%. Very cool. Okay, so I just got to correct me if I'm on the wrong classes here. We'll try and go. Am I on the prejudging here?
Yes, this is
Okay.
prejudging for fitness.
Okay, so you had Shani in this.
Sure
She's right there.
did. Do you want to skip to the lineup, or do you want to go if you had
Sure.
T-Walks?
Yeah, I might just do the lineups, but I just
Yeah.
make sure I'm in the right spot. It's just a bit slow. Okay.
Yep, this is it.
Is this for first call out,
They'll move Shani in a second here.
Yeah, okay.
Um,
Okay, so was there any differences in placings from the first call out for this class? Do you remember?
no, no, there wasn't. It was pretty much exactly as they called it, I'm pretty sure. But this is first call out now.
Yeah, okay, cool. All right. So
Do me to say the placings?
just run through them.
Okay, cool. So in fitness model, we had Shani Styles, first place and new FMG Pro. We also had Katrina Lacridis. I'm sorry if I say your name wrong, Katrina. I love you.
She's in the pink, hey.
Yeah,
323. Yeah.
yes, she was second place, but was also rewarded a FMG Pro card. And then we had Eleanor Salmon in third place. So I was on the edge of my seat for this whole class. I was screaming. I honestly couldn't speak, and it was the first class of the day. I had both Shani as my prep client and posing client, and then I also had Taylor as a posing
Yeah.
client who ended up placing fourth in this category. But yeah, it was definitely neck and neck between Katrina and Shani. They both had very different looks. I am a very big fan of Katrina's shape. I was watching her coming into the contest, but I wasn't sure whether they would put her in athletic or fitness, mainly because she brought athletic conditioning. However, she brought a fitness physique. And I think
Yeah.
that's what got the judges as well on the day. So they were really working the girls for that first and second place to figure out, well, who actually deserves that pro card. And then ended
Yeah.
up giving them both a pro card in the end. But for Shani, we were actually going to go for the bikini athletic. But then as it got closer to show, we were like, oh, you're looking a bit fitnessy. So we
Yeah.
jumped into fitness and thank God we did because then we were rewarded.
Yeah, and I remember you asked Pauline as well.
Yeah, Shani reached out to
And
Pauline. Yeah, because Shani just wanted to make sure that she was actually, in the criteria for her. And Pauline's great. She will always help out if she can for all the athletes. And yeah, she said Shani definitely tried fitness as well as athletic. And yeah,
yeah.
thank God we did. And she didn't look out of place either. Like her conditioning, her posing, her bikini as well, just everything really had that look as a pro. So yeah, very, very proud of Shani.
And you can see the two girls there, the two pro card winners. Um, you know, I mean, Shani, who won the class, just has that little bit extra balance, top to bottom. You know, and obviously with fitness, you want more balance and more proportion everywhere. So you kind of want to have more development that's balanced all over. You don't want to have this sort of more bikini shape where it's a little bit less quads, more glutes. You know, the shoulders are there, but it's not a dominant. Like, and the same with the arms. So what we're looking for is development through all muscles, and you can see that with Shani. Like, just in comparison, what's the girl who came second's name? Or sorry, the
Katrina.
pro card, Katrina. You just a good example is the arm development here. You can see that she's just got that extra thickness in the tris and bis. The shoulders are a bit rounder. And then moving down to the quads, it's like the quads, glutes, and hamstrings are all balanced there. So in a shot, like a simple shot like that, sort of what the judges go off for fitness. But you can definitely see why Katrina also won a pro card there, because she is very developed and very balanced still. So we'll obviously talk about her in the bikini athlete division as well. But yeah, so pretty crazy quality there for amateur fitness.
I must say, when Katrina turned to the back, my jaw hit the floor. I have
Yeah,
never
we've got
seen such crazy glutes on an amateur. It was insane.
yeah. Yeah, and just a special mention to her coach. What's her name again? Sorry.
Anna.
Yeah, like went and did a bit of what's it called, a snoop on her Instagram, and there's just videos of Katrina training really well. So I always like that when coaches are really big on training, and that's obviously showing in the physique. So good on you girls. It's awesome. And look at that conditioning. You can see what you're talking about there, Sam, with the glutes, the tie-ins coming
Insane.
pretty much halfway down her leg there. It's going to be interesting to see what they do. Obviously, they're going to stay in fitness, I'm assuming.
I believe
Just keep
she will
growing and
be.
balancing. Mm,
I believe she will be staying in fitness. I mean, it's hard. Like, if you get rewarded in a certain category, then that's kind of the judges saying, hey, this is where you belong. This is where we want to see you. So I would
yeah.
be surprised if she drops down. But, I'm very excited to see both Shani and Katrina move up the ranks and see how they go in the pro ranks, because they were both so deserving on that day. They really were. Like, they were both winners in different ways. They both had what the other person didn't have. So
Yeah.
yeah, very, very stoked for them. But I do want to give a special mention to Taylor, my posing client who placed fourth in this lineup. Outstanding posing, absolutely incredible. And once again, she was aiming for athletic, but then went into fitness. So glad she went to fitness, because that is definitely where she belongs.
Which one's she? Is she on the end here?
She is on the left, on the far left.
Oh, okay. And who's the third place in this class?
Third place is the girl next to Shani in the purple.
This one here? Oh, this one
On the
here.
left, yeah. Yeah.
Okay, see if there's a bit more footage there of her. Yeah, okay. Her just honestly just comes down to condition of the lower body. She's got quite good shoulders and balance there. Just needs more density and conditioning. I honestly don't think she's far off development wise. She just needs more conditioning.
I think
Let's
that's
see.
her. Hang on. I want to
Yeah,
check
is that
that's
there?
actually her. I'm pretty sure that's her.
Yeah.
Yeah, because the other girls, yeah, I'm 90% certain that's her.
Yeah, and that's Taylor on the end.
Yes, that's Taylor.
Yeah. Yeah, cool. Yeah, so just I mean, just in that shot alone, you can see the conditioning of the lower body. The delt size and density there. Um, just in Shani in comparison, but yeah, Katrina's definitely a standout on stage as well. But pretty cool lineup. I mean, first lineup of the day. Let's see what when this loads. What do we got next there, Sam?
Do you want to do the 35 plus, 45 plus categories? We probably
Mm-hmm.
should. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So next up, we have fitness model 35 plus. We had Rebecca Jeffries, new FMG Pro, first place, Amy Gold, second place, and Hayley Kingsley in third place. Here we go.
So top three, obviously the three on stage. Who have we got there, Sam? So what class is
So
this
we
showing?
So this is fitness model 35 plus. We had first place
Yeah.
Rebecca Jeffries and new FMG Pro. She's in the pink and purple bikini there. Then we had Amy Gold in second place, who's in the blue bikini and is also one of my posing clients. And then we have Hayley Kingsley in third place in the green bikini.
Okay, so there's yep. All right, cool. So all right. Yeah, wow, look at the quads on her. Jeez, she's jacked and diced, peeled.
So let's talk
Um,
about Rebecca. Rebecca is coached by Nay, FMG Figure Pro, and Rebecca is the most sweetest soul I have ever met in my entire life. She is just so incredible, so full of energy, and so rewarding of this pro card. She definitely brought the shreds to the stage and was 100% a standout. I would have loved to see her in the open class though, as well. I know they were aiming for the 35 plus, but seeing her with the open girls would have been really cool and interesting against Shani and Katrina. But I'm sure we'll see her in the open class as she moves into the pro ranks. Conditioning was incredible. Stage presence was incredible. Loved the colors of the bikini as well.
Yeah, amazing. I've never seen a class like this.
As in, like, all three are very good athletes.
Yeah. Is it 35 plus or 45 plus?
35 plus.
35 plus, yeah. That's what I mean. Like, incredible quality for 35 plus.
Amazing, hey. I believe with this one though, Amy and Hayley both went into the figure lineup after this as well, where Amy was rewarded her pro card, which you can definitely see in this lineup that both Amy and Hayley do just have a lot more density, which is not what you want in fitness. Like, yes, you want density, but not as much as a figure competitor. And that was very prominent in this lineup. I remember leading up to the show, Amy was actually aiming for fitness. And we said, like, the week before, oh, maybe you should look at figure. Like, you're looking a bit dense. Once again, so glad we made that decision because, yeah, she was rewarded.
That's a crazy shot of her quads there.
That one's Hayley.
Yeah.
Yeah, Hayley was incredible. Hayley has a beautiful package head to toe. I actually loved her bikini. I love that mint color. Not many people can pull that off, but when she walked out in that color, I was in awe.
Yeah, I mean, they had the black background too, so it kind of made the bikinis pop a bit more. It wasn't like the regular background.
So what do you think got the girls the nod over each other?
If we go back to that, hang on. Yeah, I mean, exactly what you said. It's just like, if you were to really pinpoint what the fitness criteria is, you're just moving into figure, and obviously, like, this is prejudging, so they want to see everyone in all classes first. They want to see crossovers. They want to see, like, if you were to just take these three and put them in order of who's the most fitness, it's exactly what you said there, Sam. Is like, you're starting to be a little bit too dense, just too developed everywhere. It's like too conditioned, too hard looking, but still, incredible.
Incredible that they're all over 35 plus. That's insane.
Yeah. So just to go over that again, who's the winner of this class? Sorry, which bikini color?
In the pink.
This one here.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you can see that when it's just like more, it's like or what I think about to myself is like, okay, who looks the most like if you to move away from that development and move back to bikini, it's like who's holding on to that size, but then is still more bikini looking. And that's kind of what you can see there is that in comparison to the other two ladies, she's just got that more like it's like longer muscle looking. It's not so dense and thick. But there's a fine line there. Obviously, it really depends who's on stage too.
Absolutely.
Yeah. But you can see with her, it's just super dense. She's just thick, very, very developed muscle. It's very impressive.
To have that kind of muscle and that
Mm.
kind of shreds at 35 plus is insane. And I really do
Yeah.
hope that's me at 35 plus.
Same. I got 2 years.
Come on, Tim, get working.
Yeah, that's cool. Okay, so what's the next class here?
Then we have fitness model 45 plus, Rebecca Jeffries, new FMG Pro first place, and then Chrissy O'Hare Siplin in second place.
Let's see if I can fast forward to this one. Just 2, right?
Yes, so Rebecca is the same one that was rewarded in 35 plus.
Mm-hmm. Come on, stream. Should I have made sure this was downloaded before? Probably.
Next time.
Okay, yeah, so...
Yeah.
Yeah, where's the lineup here?
There.
Yeah, I think it's here. Yeah, wow. That's such a power pose for her.
For Rebecca, yeah.
Yeah, I think she just is 2. What's 331's name? Sorry,
Chrissy.
Yeah, she just needs to fix that pose up.
Yeah, I do think that Rebecca got the nod with the posing here. Also, a little bit more muscle development in certain areas and conditioning. But also, when you are coming up against someone who's already won another class, it can be quite hard to beat them. But I do love Chrissy's shape. I do love her bikini. I love that color on her. I do just think that Chrissy needs to work on her posing potentially,
Yeah.
work on her walk. I do think that some of the poses that were chosen may not have best showed her physique, because even just her in this shot here, you can see that she has quite a bit of muscle. She's just not showcasing it to the best of her advantage when Rebecca is just holding it beautifully and showing every single muscle possible. So I would love to see Chrissy in different shots and also just see her with a little bit more muscle.
Yeah, you can see it when you've got only 2 on stage too. It can really highlight the posing because you don't have much to look at. Like obviously when you have a big lineup, the posing's still going to make you stand out. But if it's just 2, it's contrasting the posing even more. You don't fit in, so you want to make sure you're polished. I mean, if you're going to end up in a scenario like this where it's you or someone else, you want to be the one that's taking the attention, or at least not showing the weaknesses. So yeah, it's a big factor. Obviously, we all know posing's big in FMG, but in a scenario like this, you want to be the one with the best posing, 100%.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. So yeah, just a bit more development and posing, like Sam said. Yeah. Okay. So what's the next class there?
Figure. Moving on to the big girls in figure. All the muscle mummies. Oh no, that's wellness.
I think
there's only 2. Unless they went straight into wellness after this. I don't think they did, though.
Maybe I just rushed.
Or maybe they did go to wellness to give the fitness girls a time to breathe. Maybe.
Yeah, they must have.
Yeah, they did. Okay.
Okay, so you had Erin in this, right?
I sure did. My girl Erin took on the wellness category, and she did so well. She did awesome for her first FMG show. I was so excited for her. I could have cried.
Do you want to give a bit of a backstory on Erin's prep?
So Erin, I have been working with for, I want to say 5 years now. Erin was actually one of my first ever Wixfit clients back in the day. And we had done a prep for ICN in the past. And then she fell in love with competing, the whole vibe, and we wanted to go for FMG. So Erin had been working towards this for quite a long time. We had a lot of hiccups within this prep. She actually had to undertake an emergency surgery at about 8 weeks out. She had no choice. It had to be done. And it actually helped us with the prep because it actually got rid of a lot of PCOS symptoms that she was experiencing. She still has PCOS, obviously, but they just weren't as extreme. And she's actually finding that very present post show as well. But going into the show, we just need to get lean. Erin was a workhorse. She never questioned anything. She just got the job done. And she placed fourth, which she was stoked about. She was very nervous going into this lineup because there were some good quality wellness girls, with big legs, etc. So, of course, you're going to be a bit in your head thinking, am I actually going to fit this criteria? But when she was on stage next to those girls, she definitely belonged up there. That she didn't not belong up there.
Speaking of big legs,
Kaya, yes.
Yeah.
Her quads don't make sense. Like I look at them and I think she has balloons attached to her legs and then she paints over them. Like it doesn't make sense, but hats off to her.
That's crazy. Yeah. That's impressive.
So for the placings, sorry.
I was just going to say, yeah, that's a awesome job by Erin. And also a big transformation journey too, right?
Oh, absolutely. I think she lost 20 kilos in total for just that prep. So yeah, absolutely insane.
Awesome. Very, very cool, Erin. Okay, so who have we got here? Team E-Dog. Who have we got in the, what's the top, if you want to say top three, and then obviously Erin was fourth. So we know fourth.
So for the wellness lineup, first place was Kate Millard and new FMG Pro. Second place was Alina Wade, and third place was Kaya Timp.
Okay, so Kaya's the gigantic quads.
Yes, she's Quadzilla.
Yeah. Okay, so if you want to point out top two there.
Kate's in green.
Yeah.
Yep. And then Alina is in the orange. She's just out of shot. She's in the orange and blue there next to Kate. Yep. Yeah.
Okay, so
then Kaya's in the yellow.
When we get maybe we'll get a first call out here?
There is a top call out, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, this is the top call out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So top three's here.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, it looks like it's just okay, so that's a good example. Obviously with wellness we want that asymmetry. And it looks like it's just she's the most asymmetrical with the condition balance. So obviously Kaya has the advantage with the development in the lower body, just not as conditioned.
Yeah, when Kate walked out, I was in awe. I definitely thought she was winning on the day. She was the first one, and I was like, well, that's going to be very hard to beat. Yeah. She had the conditioning. She had the right muscle in the right areas. Her posing was beautiful. Her stage presence was beautiful. Her bikini stood out as well. She definitely walked out like a pro from the get-go. So I was very impressed with Kate. I am very excited to see how she develops into the category because obviously as you grow into the pro ranks, you are going to have to be a lot bigger. But I do think Alina was deserving of second place. She has that beautiful wellness shape. Would love to see her a little bit bigger in certain areas, especially in the upper body, I think. But I'm very excited to see what Alina does in the future. For Kaya, I know there were a lot of people who were kind of confused with her placing. I think it was just a conditioning thing. I am a big fan of Kaya's shape. I think she's very impressive. Her quads, as I said, Quadzilla does not make sense. She has a lot of potential in this division or this category. However, I do think it was just a conditioning thing that let her down on the day.
Yeah, and you can kind of see it in that shot there. There's not really posing, but this is the sort of things that the judges will look for, when they're trying to find faults in between poses. You want to have that condition still, at least, or at least holding things in position. And these sort of shots will expose that. But I think that's a good point, what you said before about the upper body, because I think a lot of the time ladies will think that with wellness, you don't want to have any upper body, but it's actually not the case. You don't want to you don't want to be underdeveloped there. So that's a really good crucial point that you made there, Sam.
In my eyes, wellness is bikini athletic, but with massive legs. It's
Yeah.
like the same conditioning as bikini athletic. It's just bigger in the lower body. So that's what we should be aiming for when looking for wellness. I do also just want to preface with the posing when it came to wellness. This is actually going to be coming out from FMG very soon, so I don't want to really talk too much about the topic, but we had a massive meeting with Pauline last night with all the posing coaches around the world, and it was very pushed that the side shots need to change. So these booty pops that a lot of girls were doing in the wellness category, they don't want to see that as a side pose. That's not a side pose. It can be classified as a back pose. If you actually look at the footage, Erin is the only one holding an actual side pose. Like she's actually got her hips to the side of the room when everyone else had their hips more towards the back of the room. So something to just keep in mind moving forwards, ladies, when it is coming to just all posing, not just wellness. It was just very prominent in this lineup on the day. But as I said, a YouTube video is going to be coming out from Pauline very soon discussing that a bit further.
Yeah, and what would be the main reason for that in the wellness category specifically? Like, if you want to break that down for people listening, like if you have, for example, the difference between a bikini side pose or a rear pose versus a wellness one, like what are they looking for there that's different, and why is the posing different?
So with wellness, obviously, we're looking for more development in the legs. So in bikini, you wouldn't try to make your legs look bigger unless for some reason your upper body was drastically bigger than your lower body and you were trying to balance it out. But in wellness, you do want to make yourself look like an A-frame. Like you shouldn't be looking like an X-frame. So the weight distribution in your feet will be different. The way that you sit into your glutes, sit into your quads, the shoe type that you decide to use as well will be different. You want to use a shoe that you can actually put pressure into your toes, not so much just the heels like a Pleaser Delight that a lot of bikini girls use. You wouldn't want to see that in wellness unless they have massive quads that they don't need that different shoe type to help. That is a case that can happen sometimes, but you'll notice that in this wellness lineup, a lot of the girls are actually wearing the shorter heel. But when it comes to the side pose, a lot of girls are getting stuck in that quarter booty pop where your hips are facing the back corner. This can be a back pose. Yes, if you actually have a look at this, you can see that the hips are facing too far to the back. And unfortunately, girls get a little bit greedy with this one because they want to try and make their glutes look as big as possible. And it makes sense. It obviously makes sense. I get stuck with it too sometimes. But it's a side pose. It's not a back pose. So the hips need to be facing the side of the room, not the back corner of the room.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I think what it's doing is, you're trying to standardize the judging and the criteria throughout all shows. So the organizers, the judges, they're going to get very specific with this stuff. And sometimes it can be, even if you have the best physique, it's going to be part of the judging, obviously, but they're going to come down on it hard because they want to standardize it so that people understand what they're looking for, rather than it just being like, oh, the best physique wins always. It's got to be the whole presentation, the whole package.
I think it's also like, it's not a glute show. Yeah. It's like wellness and bikini athletic and fitness and whatever else it is. It's not a glute show. It is a full top to bottom ratio show.
Yep.
So yes, okay, your glutes might look whack in that quarter booty pop, but what does your quad look like? What does your hamstring look like? What do your calves look like? What do your shoulders look like? Like all of those things do come into play. So don't get caught in the, I have to make my glutes look as big as possible, because it's not about that.
Yep, 100%. Yeah, it's least flaws within the criteria, not the biggest glutes or the biggest shoulders or whatever. But yeah, I would love to see Kaya in better condition. Like she's got such a crazy shape and everything's there, even the upper body, like we were saying. Just gotta organize that condition.
Absolutely.
Did we talk about that class enough? Did we talk about, I feel like we talked about the posing and stuff. I don't know if we talked about the top three.
Well, what are your thoughts on Kate winning, Alina coming second, Kaya coming third?
Yeah, I think you're right. Like it was a package thing, rather than just she was a standout, of course, but it was a package. It was the whole posing, the condition, the shape, all of it together. I don't think that she necessarily had, the most potential or the most this or the most that. It was just like her overall package was a winner. And you can see that as the camera keeps panning past. I mean, One criticism I do have of this, obviously the replay isn't designed for us to do wrap-ups, but it would be cool to have just more front on, you know what I mean? Because
Yeah.
I can't, it's hard to see from some of these angles, but yeah, from what I can see here, it is an overall package thing.
One thing is, Kate actually did athletic as well. And I do believe from what I've seen online, she was actually aiming for athletic. And then the last week before they decided to jump
Yep.
into wellness, which once again, thank God she did because she was rewarded. And
Mm.
I remember seeing her in athletic and she just didn't fit the criteria. She was definitely very leg dominant. And I think the judges thought that as well, which I think is where she definitely got that nod in wellness because it was like, no, she's definitely doing wellness. So I think that's just a thing for all athletes. Like, if you're not sure where you fit, if you think you're in between two different categories, do both. Don't just do one. Don't just think, oh, I have to just do this one because that's what I've been aiming for this whole entire prep. Imagine aiming for one and then getting your feedback saying, oh, you're probably better off in fitness.
Yeah.
All of that work for that kind of feedback. If there is ever an inkling of, oh, I might be this and I might be that, do both. Let the judges decide where you best sit.
Yep. And it is a matter of sometimes, like, as you prep, this sort of shape comes out, you know, as your body fat disappears, as your muscles reveal, you know, you start to see your shape clearer and clearer. And even when you get on stage, it sometimes is a very different story to checking photos and in the gym and things like this, because the judges are down here, you know, they're looking at you from a different perspective, usually on a different lighting, tan, everything. So yeah, it's always the only time you can really judge yourself is once you're on stage, rather than even sometimes when you stand in front of, like, if you have like feedback from a photo, you know, from a judge from a photo in the prep, it's still never an accurate level of like feedback. You've got to stand on stage. So yeah, good advice there, Sam.
What are your thoughts on Alina, who came second? Oh, it might be Elena. I'm sorry if I'm saying your name wrong.
Yeah. Yeah, she's in the right class. She's definitely just got to grow. She's just got to grow, and you can see it kind of in that shot there, like the density through the glutes. She's got everything there. She's got the right shape. She's got the right proportions. Everything's there. It just needs more size. And I think the other thing too is, like, I just imagine them on a pro stage. So I think, okay, what do they need to do to look like a pro? Who looks like most like a pro? And it's this girl here. So yeah, it's just more time, more development, a little bit harder. And yeah, she's got a big future there for sure.
Cool.
And it's generally, like, I mean, that's the thing, as we see more and more shows, that's what's cool about the FMG now, is like you can do like you can do Gold Coast, you can do Sydney, you can do Thailand, you can do New Zealand. Like, you don't have to wait a whole year anymore.
Yeah,
So
it's awesome.
you can do multiple shows in a year and fine tune your look if you're close enough, you know. And you can really just practice your whole like the prep and everything is part of the process of being a pro and looking like a pro. So yeah, I mean, you can see here, like, she's got a great shape for wellness. She just needs more density, conditioning.
Agreed.
Yeah. But yeah, it's just great because I think when it was the Pride Federation, there was only those two shows, you know, unless you went overseas and stuff like that. But still, it was you had one or two opportunities a year, and it was a point. One was like a world show, wasn't it? And the other one was like a pro qualifier.
So it used to be we'd have the Gold Coast show and then we'd have the mid-year show. And then the end of year show would be a pro show. So it would be amateurs and pro. But the world show would be overseas usually.
Yeah. Actually, a good point here. What do you tell your girls in this moment here, when the judging's been done and you're all walking off stage? What is your advice here?
Don't stop. Keep
Yeah.
going. You're still on stage. They're still watching. And Pauline has made it very clear that they are still watching you when you're
Yeah.
walking away, because you might put on a fantastic presentation and it might be very close between you and second place.
Mm-hmm.
And they see you drop your glutes and just kind of let go. And they're like, oh, never mind.
Yeah.
She's actually going to be second place. I'm going to put my second place in first place. So the show is not over until you are behind the curtain. That is the most important thing.
And if you notice here, like, everyone's walking pretty well, but the winner is the one who's trying the hardest. Like, look at her here.
Yeah.
She's trying the hardest to stay full, and you can see it as she's walking off. Like everyone else is kind of they're still doing the pose, but they're not trying as hard. And you can see that in her intention. So sometimes that pays off. You know, I mean, it's pretty clear that she won from the fallout, but still, being present and being intentional with your posing is so crucial. All right. So what's the next class?
This is figure.
Okay, sweet. So we've already spoken about these two ladies.
Yes. So first place we had Amy Gold and new FMG Pro, and then second place we had, just trying to find her name.
So is Amy on the left here?
On the right.
On the right. Okay, yeah.
Yes. So first place was Amy Gold, new FMG Pro, and then second place was Hayley Kingsley.
Yeah, you can see it in that rear pose, just so much harder in the rear.
Yeah, I do believe Hayley had a fantastic front shot. She was shredded in the midsection. However, I do think she did lose it just from the back there. And there were a couple of shots that I would like to see Hayley hit a little bit differently, just to ensure that she really brought out the maximum amount of fullness and to also try to make her waist look smaller. But then Amy just had this crazy density in her legs. It was insane. And when you would watch her pose from a judge's perspective, you would just think she looked even bigger again. It was just insane. So I do think Amy just had that better density overall in all of her shots. She does just need to come in a little bit leaner, which she knows.
Yeah, you can see it there, like the quad sweep, the midsection. Like she's just as lean as her in the front, but then she's got the back condition as well. I would actually suggest pulling these bikinis up a little bit. What do you reckon, Sam?
Yeah, definitely. So one thing I always say to my girls, which is why Amy's is there, I always say bring your bikini bottoms above your hip bones, because as you walk on, the bikinis are going to start to fall down naturally. When if you start with them on the hip bone, by the time you finish posing, it's going to be like way too low. So always just have them sitting above that hip bone so they're in the right spot for the whole time.
See it there, because that makes your midsection look longer.
Absolutely.
You want to have it shorter, and that just because if it was up in line with that V, it kind of tapers off with the same thing.
Yeah.
See if they turn around one more time.
I must say, Amy's bikini was one of my favorites of the day. It was stunning in person.
Yeah, it suits her really nicely. Yeah, they might turn around one more time. Maybe they won't. Hang on, I might go back. It's funny because we've all been there. We've all been there.
Yeah. You're like, oh shit.
Yeah. You know what to do, but you just like forget for a sec, and then you just like, yeah. Okay, here we go. So there's, just as dense and big in the front, and then in the back, she's just that glute tie-in area. You know, this is what really wins classes, just being complete everywhere.
Absolutely. And just like choosing the right shots that best suit your physique. Because, I feel like sometimes we might choose shots that suit other people, but not necessarily ourselves. So, yeah.
Yep. I mean, that's pretty straightforward there. All right, we'll skip the. Obviously, shout out to Aaron for winning his pro card, but we're gonna keep it to the women's pro.
Go, Aaron! You did amazing.
Okay.
So this is athletic.
Okay.
My jam.
See if I got any questions coming through here. Yeah, sweet. All right, so where's the call out here? Is that it there?
Yes. Oh, maybe. They're up there for a while.
Yeah, it's always like the show, like the classes like 10% of the time, and then it's like bikini and bikini athletic. It's like 3 hours on stage. Okay, so is this the first call out? There's the wellness girl again.
There's Mia and Georgia. They both came first and second.
I don't think.
No, I don't think so because Katrina came third. So no. Yeah, Shani was a bit further in. Yeah. Your new client Jade is in this one.
Yes. Is this the first call out?
Yes, this is it. Yeah.
Okay, I might just go back a little bit. Okay, so yeah, we had Shani, and this is like we were talking about with the crossovers.
Yeah.
Wellness girl, Shani, then Katrina as well.
Okay. So first place and new FMG Pro, we had Mia Barlow. We also had Georgia Farkason. I hope I said your name right. I'm so sorry, Georgia. But also rewarded a pro card in second place. And then Katrina, who we spoke about in fitness, was rewarded third place for this class.
So first, second, third, is that right?
No. So
Right.
first place is in the green. Second place is in that white gold.
This one?
And then, yep. And then third place is the pink.
Yeah.
Kiara in the red came fourth.
Okay. Okay, cool. Let's see if they move them around here.
She does get moved out soon. Because she got the first call out, but then got moved out.
Yep. Yeah, wait for a front pose here. This is the thing with these videos, it's good for it's great for marketing, great for like bringing people in, but it's so hard to analyze, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, stop there.
So first, second, and third.
Yes, correct.
Yep. Okay, cool. Let's have a look, see if they do a... Yeah, I mean, Mia's front pose was just like on point, right? That whole shape, the proportions, everything's just the condition of that front pose. Pretty clear standout, absolutely.
Yeah, this is a thing with Bikini Athletic. I know once again, similar to wellness, there was a little bit of confusion. I love Mia. I think she is absolutely incredible. I had her winning pretty much, but I did think, well, they're either going to give it to Katrina because Katrina's a standout to me, or they're going to give it to Mia. I wasn't sure, but I thought it was going to go one of those two ways. I know people thought that Kiara, who placed fourth, probably should have gotten the first place. Yeah. But this is something that I wanted to talk about. I love Kiara's physique. She's insane. Her legs don't make sense. It's incredible. She's got an incredible package and incredible flow and everything like that. However, I do think the other three girls got the nod over Kiara in that call out because she was a little bit soft in the morning show. She did come in tighter for the night show, but she was a little bit soft. But then also the poses that she chose at the front didn't do her justice in her midsection because she was versing three other girls that have a tiny waist. And when that happens, if you don't have a tiny waist genetically, you need to ensure that you look like you have a small waist. So I do think those two factors let her down. However, I am very excited to see what's next for Kiara because she does have an incredible package. I just think she needs to work on those two things and she'll be very dangerous moving forwards. But Mia, absolute standout, absolutely deserving of first place that day. Very excited to see Mia in the pro ranks. Just needs to obviously grow a little bit before she moves into the pro ranks.
Yeah. I mean, I was about to say that too. In the rear pose, she's like a standout to me.
As in Kiara?
Yeah, Kiara. But you can see it here. This is the front pose, like either whether it's core control or just the pose selection. These three girls here have structurally the smallest waist on stage, and it just shows, especially in these front poses when you're not twisting that much or you're just very subtly standing in that pose. It just highlights the issue. So yeah, I mean, it'd be interesting to see whether she goes into like fitness or figure because she has this.
I did think that Kiara does have potential to move into fitness, especially as you said, like with her structure, she does have a very fitness looking structure.
Yeah.
If she came in, crazy conditioned, I would be very curious to see where the judges would put her, especially when you do look at her next to people like Mia and Georgia, who came first and second and both rewarded a pro card. I think Kiara has similar density to Katrina,
Yeah,
and Katrina was rewarded a pro card in fitness.
agreed.
So when you're looking at that, it's kind of like, well, what would happen if she was rewarded in fitness, or if she did do fitness? Sorry. So yeah, Mia and Georgia were definitely rewarding on the day. I think Georgia got the nod for a pro card because of her crazy conditioning. She
Mm,
definitely brought the shreds, and it wasn't too much. You know, like there is a fine line when it comes to conditioning for bikini athletic. It's not crazy shreds like fitness. And I think Georgia hit that right on the money. I think she didn't go too far and didn't go too short of it. It's just Mia had that overall package from head to toe.
yeah, and you what it is like you're starting to bring like development and density from fitness, but you're holding onto the bikini fullness. Um, you know, obviously fitness is still full, but you're starting to get more grainy and more dense, and the muscle looks different, the conditioning looks different. So that's why, the placings were like this with Katrina here. She's got that density and conditioning, especially when she turns around. It starts to become less bikini. You can sort of see that in certain shots. What's this girl's name? 369?
Georgia.
Georgia, yeah. She's like very borderline, but she managed to keep the fullness. If she was any less full, yeah, she wouldn't have done as well. But the fact that she was so full with the condition it's still inside bikini athletics. So yeah, agreed. I'd be interested to see whether oh man, I'm so bad with names. Kiara is going to stay in bikini athletic, or what the feedback was, because she would be very, very dangerous in fitness with that structure. And obviously, like you said, just some posing adjustments, especially when you're going against girls that have just alien waists. You need to be either playing to your strengths and hiding weaknesses, or just playing to your strengths in a different class. Because yeah, I mean, look at that waist, that front pose, the glute pop, the conditioning. There's enough definition. That was a very good look.
One thing I do want to say as well is I think there's a misconception with athletic that you have to have gigantic quads
No.
with a bikini physique, which is not the case. Bikini athletic is balanced from head to toe. So yes, okay, it's more developed quads, but it's not monstrous quads. So just because someone walks out in this lineup with massive quads does not mean that they are going to get the nod, because it's not a quad show. It's just like what we were talking about with wellness. It's not a glute show. It's about the full package head to toe. So that is one thing I really want to push with athletic. No, it is not about your quads. It is about the whole package from head to toe. And that is what Mia brought. Mia brought a balanced physique with the right conditioning head to toe.
Yep. 100%. And that's where, obviously in comparison to bikini, there's going to be more quads on display, because in bikini, it's such a glute and shoulder, obviously slightly less shoulder density as well, but it's more about that hourglass. Whereas in bikini athletic, you're showing more symmetry everywhere. So you're just going to see the quads more in the posing and stuff like that. So it doesn't necessarily mean that, yeah, like you said, it doesn't necessarily mean that you have to have fitness quads. And I mean, that's where Katrina gets marked down, I guess, is she's just so dense and so big in the quads, and that does overpower some of the shots. So whether she, maybe if she had just bikini athletic posing and conditioning, she maybe could have taken that class,
Definitely.
Hard to know now in hindsight, obviously, but I mean, look at that shot there compared to Mia. Like, Mia's in great condition, but she makes she's looking soft compared to Katrina there.
Yeah. It's just because Katrina had this crazy conditioning.
Yeah.
Like it was insane. I would love to see Mia grow a little bit more. I think she'll be very dangerous in the pro ranks. She's just got a very balanced physique. Same with Georgia. Georgia's very balanced head to toe. And they both had delts. That's another thing that people forget about bikini athletic. You need to have capped delts. So no, I don't disagree with this at all. I think it was rewarded the right way. I think it's what it was supposed to be. But yeah, very excited to see what's next for these girls for sure.
Yeah, forgot her name again.
Georgia.
Fuller still. Needs to be fuller in that rear pose. The tie-ins are too sharp. If she was fuller again, I mean, I'm not saying that she would have beaten the front pose of Mia, but it would have been closer because that's what separates them in these poses. It's just more feminine when you're not as diced like that, and you sort of see that in the placings here, first, second, third, going from sort of like fuller and softer, if you want to call it that, down to shredded, then the most shredded there. So yeah, you want to be careful of that in bikini athletic. Very cool. No, good class. And it's always good, like we were talking about before, to see crossovers and people finding where they belong. I mean, that's a good shot of Mia's condition there. Like,
Yeah.
she's not soft by any means, but she's just full. It's a full feminine look in bikini athletics still, even with the conditioning.
Yeah, absolutely.
Cool. Okay. And I mean, look at Katrina's upper body, arms, shoulders, back.
Insane.
Like, she's just making everyone else look small. Yeah, it'd be interesting to see whether, obviously, she's in fitness, what the plan is there. Whether she stays in fitness.
That's the thing, like, with Katrina, I think she has the density of a crow when it comes to athletic.
Yeah.
Like, she brought the conditioning for us. Yeah, so, who knows? She might show up on the world stage in athletic. Who knows? But regardless, very impressive physique. I've said that so many times. But quick shout out to my posing girls in this class. I had Taylor and Shani once again, and I also had Jade in there too.
Which one? Shani's here. Where's Taylor?
Taylor's on the end.
Oh, in the end. Far right or far left?
Far left.
Oh, yep. So we just saw her before. Over here. Yep.
Yeah. And then Jade's third in.
Yeah, Jade just needs to fill up. She knows that.
Yeah. Very keen to see what Jade can bring with a fuller package to the stage. We've already made some posing adjustments. But this is the thing with posing, right? Like, you never know how you're going to perform until you actually get on stage and try it. As a first timer, I feel like a lot of people are like, oh, I have to perform and I have to do well. And it's like, well, we don't know what you're going to be like. We don't know if you're going to freeze. We don't know if you're going to be nervous. We don't know if you're going to be a star. Like, who knows what you're going to be like on stage? So I always like to say to my girls, like, use that first time as a first timer, and then learn what you can't do, learn how you feel, learn all of those different things so that when you move into that second show, you know what type of posing you need to bring that best suits you as a person.
Yeah, 100%. It's got to be a supplement to your physique, and you got to convince the judges that you are like fitting the criteria. So you're hiding things that you don't want them to see, and you're presenting things that you do want them to see, and then it's all tied together with personality and sass, and you got to have fun and all that stuff as well. So that's not something that you can sort of just nail first show. It's very, very difficult to do.
Exactly.
Needs lots of practice and lots of fine tuning. Yeah, keen to see Jade full.
Yeah, me too.
Yep. All right, next class we got what is this? Bikini now?
It'll be athletic 35 plus.
Oh, yep. Just action shot there.
Wee.
Come on now, Vimeo. Don't leave me hanging. Okay.
Here we go. Yeah. All right. Bikini athletic model 35 plus. We had first place Karina Garizaniti. Sorry, Karina. New FMG Pro. Then second place we had Anna Lucia Griffin, and then third place we had Courtney Dixon.
Okay, so help me out with the bikinis here.
So Courtney Dixon is in that white silver in the middle. First place was the girl on the end, the blonde.
Yeah.
And then and then second place was I think this
332.
I don't know. Hang on. I'll find it.
It's always good to see people competing that don't know who they are, because it just means that like it's growing.
Yeah.
Never seen any of these ladies before, which is cool.
Oh, did they not post us? Oh no, they did. Yeah, second
Look,
place was the dark bikini.
okay, 3-5.
Oh, that's a nice shot on her. Yeah, that's a nice
Yeah,
shot on the second one.
wow, that's
Yeah,
awesome.
that's sick.
That's what we're talking about with the balance in bikini athletic. You know, you're showing your foot, and she's doing it there as well, but maybe it's to straighten her leg a little bit.
Yeah,
Um,
definitely. That's an
it's
impressive
sort of
shot
like
on
a
Anna.
it's sort of like a wellness shot when you have your leg bent a little bit more.
Yeah. So for Karina, who came first, she was a standout for me. When she walked out, it was kind of like, yep,
Mm.
that's the winner today. You could definitely tell. She just
Yeah.
once again had that full package from head to toe, really embodied the bikini athletic look. I would love to see her in a brighter color though. I think a
Yeah.
brighter bikini would definitely just make her pop a little bit more, especially with blonde hair. Not saying I didn't love the bikini, I definitely loved it, but I would love to see her in that nice bright color.
Yeah.
Um, what are your thoughts on her?
I mean, this is bikini athletic. You know, this
Mm.
is this is what you want to see. Balanced everywhere. You're not moving into the fitness density. Um, Still very feminine looking, full. Wait till she turns around. Let's have a look at the rear pose. I think needs to work on core control.
Yeah.
Um, but this can come down to that, just that being on stage first. I don't know whether this is her first show or not, but maybe in this federation, it's just being, you know, because there's a lot of moving going on, and that's sort of what you tell your girls, right? Is like you got to keep breathing out and holding your core.
Yeah.
So yeah, especially there, like definitely bikini athletic just needs a little bit more density in the glutes.
I do think she could probably push a little bit more in some of her poses. I think she's holding back on the push a little bit, but still,
Yeah,
yeah, clear standout.
yeah, 100%. Definitely has the shape for it. Definitely in the right class. Just little fine tuning things.
Yeah. And then second place with Anna. I love her bikini. That is a
Yeah,
stunning bikini. Everyone was wearing blue. We had a lot of blues this season,
yeah,
but no, I loved this different variation of the blue. It really made her pop nicely on stage, and it really complemented her, I think. But Anna's front pose was wild. I love her front pose, very balanced head to toe. It was the perfect staunch pose, I like to call it. I froth a good staunch pose. So yeah, well done, Anna.
yeah. I would say it's just that's it. First place. It was close there, just posing. She did really well with her posing, but what was the girl's name who came first? Sorry,
Karina.
Karina. There's so many Karinas and Katrinas, and she just, if she can polish off her posing, that would be a very, very dominant win. It was just close because her posing's great. 350.
I do think Karina also had a little bit more glute on Anna. But Courtney Dixon, let's talk about Courtney for a second. So Courtney came third. I love Courtney's physique. And Courtney has been,
She
she was on
on
the
the end.
far right.
Yeah.
Yes. So Courtney has been around for a while. I've been watching her journey and I love her physique. She just continues to get better and better. I would just love to see some different shots on her because I do think sometimes either her waist could look a little bit thick or she doesn't look that balanced. So with a couple of different shots or just hitting it slightly different, I think would have gotten her a nod. What are your thoughts on Courtney? Because I love her physique.
Let's go back a little bit. I agree. It's hard because this camera's like fish-eyeing over here, so
Yeah.
it's making it look gigantic. But yeah, I mean, definitely some different posing. I agree. It just seems to be not flowing very well. But she is against some very developed full girls there, so she needs to be a little bit fuller. It looks like,
What are your thoughts on, sorry, what are your thoughts on her going into fitness
yeah,
eventually?
I was about to say, like, with a better setup with the peak or the prep or something like that, she's definitely got more muscle there. It looks like she's flat as. I don't know.
Because when I see her backstage, she's dense.
Yeah.
She's got some serious muscle. And like once again, like yeah, she suits bikini athletic, but I just think I'd love to see her in a fitness. lineup. I'd just be very curious to see where she'd place.
Yeah, she's got those sharp lines. Probably still needs a bit more size in the shoulders and stuff like that, but definitely like front to back. Like I always think like Hattie Boydell, you know,
Mm.
and she's definitely heading in that direction. It's a matter of whether it's hard to say. Like if I was coaching her, I'd be able to tell you whether she was flat or not. But she does look like the muscles aren't that when you look at if you look at the like a good example is just like when they do this front pose here. Hang on, I think it's the next one. The transition.
But from this angle, her waist looks tiny, right?
Yeah,
and like
tiny waist.
density in her glute and her delt are insane.
Yep. Just flat. Like you look at the pressure in the delt on her versus her, it's just like flat looking. So yeah, I mean, the shape's all there. Absolutely. Just needs to eat more carbs, I think. It's hard to say though.
Carbs.
It's hard to say. Like if you don't know what someone's peak is, it's hard to say whether they are flat or not because you might just need muscle. But yeah, she's definitely got the shape for fitness, the structure for fitness. Absolutely. Yeah, she's awesome.
Yeah, I'm keen to see what happens next for Courtney. I really hope she keeps going because she has so much potential and she keeps trying. But kudos to Courtney for trying every time and giving her best every time, because that can be very disheartening sometimes to just continue to be pushed back. But yeah, no, very excited for all of these girls.
Yeah, it's what you got to do is just get feedback and just literally conduct yourself accordingly. Like don't do anything that strays from that feedback. Like if that's your goal, and you've just got to get good feedback, get the honesty from the judges and your coach and stuff like that, and just work towards that. That has to be your primary objective, nothing else.
So this is transformation. So the next one will be bikini. Yes, this is bikini class 1.
Okay. Where's the lineup here?
It was a big class. Okay. So, bikini model class 1, we had Lauren Clems in first place and new FMG Pro. Charlotte Ratpatam, I'm really sorry, Charlotte, second place. And then we had Emily Gardett in third place.
All right, so bikini colors.
Lauren is in the light blue, like a Princess Jasmine.
Oh, yep, in the middle there.
And then Charlotte was in like a goldy color. And then Emily was in the green.
Oh, yeah, so the top 3 there. Is that right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Let's see if we can get an actual shot of these girls. Here we go.
There we go. Yeah. So Lauren was the winner.
Yep.
Okay. So Lauren came out looking absolutely incredible. She was definitely a standout to me the second that she walked out. Her bikini was amazing. Posing was incredible. And she definitely embodied the bikini criteria perfectly. I do think she was very deserving of that. Second place, though, was Charlotte, and she gave Lauren a run for her money, that's for sure. Charlotte's conditioning was outstanding, and I do believe Charlotte was rewarded in the 35 plus category, I think. But it was definitely a showdown between these two. I do just think Emily was a little bit off with conditioning. However, she did have the best physique out of the lineup to get that third place.
Yeah, I agree with the conditioning thing. Shape can only take you so far. You still got to be, lean. That's the thing with bikini, right? Is like I feel like there's a lot of confusion with bikini athletic, but I think there's also just as much confusion with bikini itself, because it doesn't necessarily mean that because they're lean that's what they're looking for. It's just who has the best package, who has the whole overall look that's being presented well. So always looking at like a Shani, a Tani, sorry, Tani, Shani. Wow. Looking at a Tani, she's not the leanest on stage. It's the whole overall package, the fullness. There's good condition there, the presentation, the midsection, the glutes. It's a full thing. Like there's no dominant areas. But especially when you turn around, you see it coming through on these girls here. Um,
This is actually a very good comparison here because
yeah.
we have Mia who won the athletic pro card on the end here.
Mm.
And then you have Lauren in the middle who was rewarded the bikini pro
Yep.
card. And there is a big difference in the conditioning from the back pose there.
Yep.
Mia is very, very tight in the tie-ins, but then Lauren is a little bit softer. There's still tie-ins there, but not as
Mhm.
harsh as Mia's.
Yep. Yeah, and that's kind of the point, right? You need to have a certain amount of glutes. You need to have a certain amount of density to be able to create that shape without needing to be so lean that you can see that shape. So you can see that in the girl who came second here is like she's starting to be a little too lean for bikini. Um, and that's often where people get confused is they're like, oh, well, she has the tie-ins and stuff, and it's like, well, it's not always just the tie-ins. It's the overall look. It's the size of the glutes to create that perfect condition for bikini, that doesn't move you towards bikini athletic looking. And then it also depends on who's on stage, right?
Definitely. No, I do think Lauren was a clear standout of this class. Like no one really came close to Lauren, but she was very deserving. Very excited to see Lauren in the pro ranks. I do believe she just needs to put on a little bit more size before heading into the pro ranks. But congratulations to her and her coach Tani. Tani was her prep coach for this show. So
Yeah.
yeah, incredible work, ladies.
Not Shani.
No, not Shani.
Good job, Shani. What's this girl's name here?
Emily.
Emily. Yeah, I mean she's got tons of potential.
Emily has crazy potential. I
Yeah.
loved her bikini choice. I always loved her shape and her structure. I do believe she is best suited for the bikini criteria. It's just
Yeah.
some of her poses could possibly be changed. I'm not sure, like I'm not a posing coach, so I don't want to say it could be changed, but might be some posing adjustments that need to be made to really get her that nod, especially when you're up against someone like Lauren. Lauren has,
Yeah.
once again, tiny alien waist. So,
Crazy.
If you are versing someone like that, you want to ensure that you bring a tiny alien waist. I do think that's where potentially Emily could have gotten the knockdown because Charlotte also has the crazy little waist. But I just think as well, she just needs to bring a little bit more conditioning overall.
Yeah, I mean this is like your typical bikini front pose condition, like
Yeah.
just enough separation here, just really round glutes, midsection's tiny, like not overly developed, like you don't have that density or dryness or anything, and there's not too much shoulders. Like this is a great job. Awesome.
Emily could also probably Emily could also possibly grow her side glute a little bit more. I do think it needs to be a little bit more fuller, a little bit more dense, especially like when you have that shot next to Lauren. Lauren's glute just goes for days. So I do think maybe that's where Emily needs to focus on for her off season.
Yeah.
But yeah, well done, ladies.
Yeah, that's the thing is like you in bikini, if you want to stay in bikini and not move to bikini athletic, don't be afraid to grow. Just because you're growing doesn't mean you're suddenly out of that class. Like there's a lot of space before you're outgrown bikini. It's more the overall balance of the physique, the proportion, the condition that is the crucial thing here. I mean, Tani has massive glutes. She's not outgrowing bikini, so yeah, don't be afraid to grow.
Cool.
Awesome.